She wants to look in the mirror. She wants to see it here, around her face. She wants to pull up a ponytail and see a slightly different color. She doesn't want it all the way to here every time. I'm not saying that for everybody. They may want it, but not everybody does. This is also great, I call it for recession. These are recession highlights. She doesn't have to get this touched up for a year or ever if she doesn't want to. And it's not gonna look horrible because they're grown out and they're very subtle. Her hair texture, because she has so many, I love to use her, because she has these pieces in the front that again, if they're wet and they're pulled straight, they're all one length. But when it shrinks up, this is very straight. Well, I'm sorry, not very straight. Straighter, wavier, and these are incredibly curly. So when I cut her front, instead of doing again the whole comb thing, I just have her lean forward, and I look at where my shape is. I'm going for a diamond with her, so we just come out and come back in. When you're cutting your curls, especially the longer ones, remember that the long pieces down here have to marry with these pieces up here. So you don't want to go too short with these layers. You know how they'll say, I want more volume, I need more volume. They get volume by going like this, not by cutting this shorter, okay? They only have to comb up a couple of times from their roots, because when you normally tease hair, you do this thing, right? And you go down, and you're putting a cushion in there. Her hair already has a cushion. So you're gonna take the cushion out and smooth a few pieces, and it'll give you all the volume you want, okay? When you're doing that with her, if this gets too short, she's gonna end up with these layers up here, this down here, and it almost looks a little mullety to me. It gets that achy, breaky heart thing that I just don't like, okay? So if she came to me with these shorter pieces, I would unfortunately tell her, I love your hair, let's go to here, and blend this in, and keep this here, and I'll keep it here for a year until these guys grow in, and then meet. Then we can start going in a new direction, okay? For her hair, what I did, I'm gonna go over really quickly what I did with her. I did what I call, on all three of my models, I did a basic 3-point cut, okay? And I suffer from Heather-Nita syndrome, so don't mind me for sweating. 3 sections, okay? 3 sections. Again, I know when we cut normally, we do 8 million sections, and we part, and we twist, and we clip, and not these guys. This has a shape. I take 3 sections, temple to temple, ear to ear, and then the bottom section. I literally just go over, and don't use a comb, because when you use a comb, you separate curls. And you know what you get when you separate a curl? Frizz, right? The bad word, frizz. So instead of going in there and combing it and making frizz, your fingers and the curls will separate themselves. I literally just dance across them. And looky there, a straight part without a comb, okay? I go from temple to temple, all the way across. I do my little dancey, dancey, dancey dance. Get that out of the way, and even here. This is all together. I don't want to disrupt this, because if I disrupt this, I get, so I go in here, and just give it a little, oops, sorry, and this is when you say, sorry, sorry, achoo, sorry, get it all down, okay? That's your first section of your cut, right here. That's gonna be right there. This is your meat and potatoes for a basic curly cut, because if this is cut wrong, everything else you did right went wrong. Leave this the longest, leave this for the end. These are her face framers, this is her weight. This can make it look like a really cute long layer cut, or it can make it look like, oh, baby, okay? That's my section. My next section is from ear to ear. And I literally dance across. And the curls will separate themselves for you. Don't concentrate too much on it. Oops. Oh, yeah, did you see that show last night? Now see, there's a tingling. If it doesn't want to go, so let it go. It's not that serious. This is your second section, all the way around the perimeter, okay? When we start this cut, this is exactly how I pin 90% of my curly girls in my chair. I separate section 1, section 2, and section 3. This section is your length. This will decide how long your hair is going to be. This will decide how long do you want a bob, do you want a flob, do you want a cob, do you want a top, okay? This will tell us that. And say I leave it to here. I go across, I get each curl, I separate them, I make sure they're all nice, and then I trim them. She wears her hair curly 99% of the time, so I can take her as curly as I want. I don't have to worry that she's gonna straighten it, and this right here might hang low with it. I can leave it just like that. And I go in there and I just snip these. all around, and there's none in the front. It's just from behind the ear to ear. This is such an important section, because if you cut this section wrong here, this is what she sees. And you cut all my hair off, because now I can see my neck. I can see my shoulder and my collar, where before she couldn't. So this is where I tend to just little bits not to scare her. When you drop your neck section down, which is your second section, this is your width. This is where you're going to decide how wide you're going to take her or how heavy you're going to leave her. If she wants volume and some layering and she's not afraid of roundness, some people are afraid of the round afro, but if they're afraid of any roundness, you want to keep a little more down to the bottom. But never all of it down to the bottom, because when all of this hair gets pushed flat to the bottom, it gets really hard for the curls to find each other and curl back up, so they instead go, okay? You want to always, even if she says no layers, I give them 1/4 of an inch to 1/8 of an inch of layering. Otherwise, it's going to be the triangle. This gets heavy, 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 and then this down here goes and expands. When this hair is wet, you all know, it's heavy. So it falls real flat. They get that really pretty wave right here. Then it dries, and they keep that really pretty wave right here, but not here. This goes, and then she's pulling it, trying to straighten it. So this is where you decide, are you adventurous? Did you want more width? Did you want it fuller? Did you want it really full? Or did you just want to keep it all one length? And even if they say one length, I'm still shortening it up a tiny bit, okay? In the front, this section's important because this is where a lot of people I see in salons that I've worked in go wrong. These front pieces here are not like straight hair. With straight hair, you do this little thing, and they get these really pretty layers. Her hair's not gonna come to the front, even if she asks it to, even if she tells it to. It's not gonna come to the front and do this little face framing layer thing. It never curls, don't go sideways. They don't take that little bend with the blow dryer and come at you. They stay here. So if you cut these too short, she's gonna end up with these cute layers when she wants them, and then it goes over the shoulder, and she has a highway, I call it, where it just starts here, and then gets longer to the back. And you see them in the grocery store, because I want to cut it for them. I always tell my husband, it's like community service, but it's not court ordered. I gotta go cut it, I gotta tell her, gotta go snip it. He's like, don't do it, you're gonna be there for an hour. But these guys here, leave them long. Leave them long and don't cut them until they're dry. The front, not the rest of the cut. These little guys right here. I don't cut them until it's dry, because half of the time, once I dry it, I love my cut, and I didn't do anything to them. But because that's there, she still feels like her, okay? That's important with our curly girls. Our curly girls are, again, like I said, the least, to me, the least respected and the least appreciated client we have, okay? These girls are always told their hair's not pretty, their hair's not professional, their hair's too big. What does it look like if you straighten it? Do you ever comb it? I have a brush. Didn't we have this conversation? Your friends? I have a brush and a comb. And she's like, I don't use a brush and a comb, or it'd be like this, okay? Times 10. And not the pretty weave Diana has either. This would be a real one like this, okay? So you always want to give them positive reinforcement when you're doing it. I always remind them, because they don't hear it enough, oh my God, your hair's so pretty. These curls are gorgeous. To die for, right? Yeah. They don't hear that enough. So when you, behind their chair, tell them that, and you don't try to straighten it for her when she leaves, because that's what 90% of them do. Oh, I know you want this blown out. No, she didn't. But thank you anyway. And so she'll leave with it blow dry, she'll go home, she'll get in the shower, she'll wet it, she'll hate it, and then she'll call me and pay twice what she just gave you to fix it. Okay? You want to be that one getting that done.